What's your name is Of Gray? Do you have a...
Of Gray. Of Gray.
Is that your actual legal name, or?
That's my internet presence.
Okay. You said you're dating a doctor.
Yeah.
What kind of doctor?
He is a radiologist.
A radiologist? Okay. And you said you're 23, correct?
No, I'm 21.
Oh. Did I skip over somebody?
Yep. She turned 21 in like June, she said, or something.
Okay.
July.
July. So.
Yeah.
How old's your boyfriend?
He is 40.
Okay, so 21.
Nice.
Got it. Whoa. My mom's
What?
45. Sorry.
Are you trying to set your mom up with the...
No.
Into the mic, guys, please. Into the mic.
No.
You said he's a what again? Sorry, my
He's a
fucking pen isn't working.
radiologist.
Okay, radiologists. They make pretty good money.
It's a really dangerous job.
Oh no, so
Is it?
It's very different. Like I think you're thinking of the techs.
Yeah, why would radiology is not a dangerous job?
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
radiation is like really bad for you.
Well, the technicians, they have the proper gear to protect
Word.
themselves from radiology, but
Radiologists like review.
Oh, so he doesn't have to be in there. He just has to look.
yeah, he just has to read them and identify
Got it.
what
Okay,
the
that's
problem might be.
a bit better.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I want to bring it back to you, Lizzie. You said that it sounds like you want a guy to like do some of these more traditional things. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Like if you're dating a guy, do you want him to pay for everything, basically?
That'd be great. I would love to be a spoiled housewife where I can cook him food all day, every day.
Okay.
And pleasure him when he comes home from work, be his cheerleader, but also monetize all the food that I make by making cookbooks and cooking videos, and then just also make my own money. So it's not like I'm just going to be mooching.
Okay.
What do
But
you
I
think
do like being a
the
princess.
What do you think the chances are that a really high-value man wants to settle down with somebody who has a history of prostitution?
I think the chances are slim, but they're still there.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not banking on that, are you?
I really don't care. I know I'm going to find someone eventually.
Yeah, I mean, how do you know that though?
Well, I actually asked my boyfriend recently, and I feel like I'm a full-time house GF, so I just like make TikToks and sometimes, like cook and bake pies and stuff. And he takes care of me and takes care of everything. And I actually asked him, like, what if I did like OnlyFans or, if I did adult entertainment? And he said he wouldn't mind, but he would, obviously like prefer that I didn't do it.
Your radiologist, medical doctor boyfriend wouldn't mind if you did OnlyFans?
OnlyFans?
Shout out
Just
to him.
pictures or actual...
I mean, okay, here's the thing. There's a lot of men out there that are cucks. So statistically speaking,
love it.
I think 6% of all men are into cucking.
No, way more than 6%.
No,
No, my
6% are
boyfriend
definitely
is
into cucking. I read this in a book.
Minimum 6%.
I sent you that.
Well, I mean, if
probably
you
like
read it in a book,
50%.
it must be true.
Probably. I rarely read, and that's like
Careful
one of
what
the
you
few
say,
things.
aren't you Christian?
My point is that I think a valuable man like my boyfriend is a doctor, and he went through all the procedures to become an accredited person. But I think a high value man could consider someone in the adult entertainment industry seriously, and I think that a lot of people don't realize that, but a lot of successful men really do not I think care, because usually their personal life is very private in general anyways, because that's
so true.
Yeah.
So does your boyfriend, who you claims that, high value man, he's a radiologist, he wouldn't mind if you went on OnlyFans and did, sex work. And do you think that, from your estimation, this particular person, you still consider that to be a high value man? You still consider him to be kind of high status, even though he would be willing to kind of share you?
Well, I think a lot of things define a high value man. For one and foremost, he is a wonderful father to his children. And he just is such a good family man.
You can do a split on this, Nick, but just hide the... Hold on. Here, let's just set up a split. you hide the top, yep. Oh wait, actually, let me see. Hide it. Let me see. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, that's not gonna work. Okay, we can't do split on that angle. My bad. Go ahead.
But yeah, he's a family man and he takes care of the people he loves. He's very kind and very patient, and he has very good emotional regulation and communication as well. Like, he's everything that I could ever want in a man. So honestly,
Is he married?
No.
Okay, so he's divorced with children?
Yes.
How old is
Okay,
his
how
kids?
many
sorry?
children does he have?
Oh, he has 2.
How old are they?
Yeah.
Like in elementary school?
Have you met them?
No. I would like to just keep that life separate because I don't want to, interrupt their personal life.
Forever separate.
That's to be determined.
Okay.
We never know what will happen in the future.
So like if you have a family with him, you don't picture them being integrated, even though they would be halfway related?
I actually don't think I want children. Yeah, I would just like to.
Would you like to marry this man and spend the rest of your life with him?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the kids are probably going to have to come with that.
No, yeah. I mean, I love kids and they love me too, but I don't, want to interrupt their childhood right now. But perhaps when they're more mature, they'll be able to comprehend the situation.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's
Because as I grew older, I understood, the dynamics in marriage more fully. Because, I'm a child of divorced parents, and I didn't understand it at first, but as I matured, I understood both sides of the story, not just like my mother, for example.
Do you still talk to your parents?
Yes, both of them, yeah.
Do they know you're dating a 40-plus-year-old man?
Yes.
They're
and,
okay with it?
They're okay with it because they know that he is just a really good person and he's never had any sort of like other intention. Like, how I've seen on the podcast where they're like accusing older men who date younger women of like taking advantage of them. But maybe some older men do have that intention, but he's never ever had that intention. In fact, when we were kind of like separated for a while, he still, helped me out every way that he could. He was still there for me emotionally, and we were still friends.
Yeah.
But we were also friends first. So
But you're
that's-
also 21. We're also more, I think, when we say that with the older men, it's usually more 18, 19
Yeah.
that we're concerned about. But you guys started dating.
Here, why don't we go around the
before you
table
turned
on this?
21,
Does
so-
anybody object to her age gap relationships? Go ahead.
No. If she was a few years older, my answer would probably be different. Or younger, but yeah.
I agree with Kiko. No, I like old guys. Also, I think if you made an OnlyFans, you would make so much more money than him.
You know what? So many people have told me.
Yeah,
that
so I think you could
but
consider it.
I'm not going to because, my mom,
Okay.
she's very firm on that. So, and I also, I don't think I want to show anyone except my boyfriend myself. Yes.
Hell yes.
I don't have any problem with the age gap.
Me neither. Also, I wouldn't do an OnlyFans if I were you because of his kids also.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
You'd be like
Yeah,
the hot
no as
stepmom.
well.
That's not.
No.
Degenerate. Okay.
I said no as well. And also I agree, don't do OnlyFans. Because the kids.
Yeah, I've also dated much older than me, so I have an opinion on it.
No issue.
How about instead of, do you object to their age gap relationship? Would you, because maybe you've heard what she said and it otherwise sounds fine. In general, would you object to a 21-year-old woman dating a 40-year-old man in general?
I think it really depends on the situation.
Maybe it doesn't change the answer for any of you? Priya?
It's 18, 19 for me.
They're adults.
I actually
18, 19
object.
is where I'm like,
I
it depends on the
object.
situation.
Oh,
No,
you
okay.
What happens in the 1 year? What happens in the 1 year where suddenly it's okay versus not okay,
A
Kiko?
lot can happen in those years. That's why I said
Yeah.
18, 19. First of all, an 18-year-old could be in high school. Okay, I was 18 for like 5 months of high school. So when you guys say 18, as a 40-plus-year-old man, you have nothing in common. You might have a few things in common, but that's weird. Okay, I'm 21 and would find it weird to be dating an 18-year-old that's a high schooler. Like that's an 18, 19. You're still growing. I'm not. Who's to say if it changes at 20? But obviously, we have to put a number on it. So if I had to put
Yeah,
a
well,
number
we have
on
a
it,
number on it. The number's 18.
I feel like, can I say something? I feel like if you guys say 18 because the age of consent is 18, but I feel like if it were anything lower, you guys would be pushing, 16, 17.
Well, actually, you're wrong. The age of consent is in most states is not 18. That's incorrect.
I understand that.
Yeah,
but here,
yeah,
it's
but
18.
not only
Where we are,
that,
it's
but
18.
when we're talking about 18, men can be drafted out of high school at 18 and go fight wars for you at 18.
We weren't talking about fighting wars. We're talking about
Yeah,
sexual
I
relationships
understand,
between
but
an
if we're
18-year-old and
considered
40
adults at 18 to go fight in a war on your behalf,
If I could
why
choose
is it
that, I
you
would
think
say
that
no,
suddenly
too.
a woman is so incapacitated that she can't make a decision as to who she wants to date at 18 years old?
If I could go back and write the law, I would say no, we shouldn't be pulling 18-year-olds out of high school to go fight in war also. I would also object against that. I think it should be 21 as well. I don't think 18-year-olds are ready for that responsibility. So.
Sure, let's get a bunch of geriatric old soldiers. That sounds great.
Because 21 is
There's a reason that they
geriatric.
use young men in
Because
warfare
21
because they
is
fight wars really
geriatric.
well.
Wait, but I think if you were to put an 18-year-old fighting with like a, I don't know, 25-year-old, I think a 25-year-old beat their ass.
Well, you're
25-year-olds.
wrong. Traditionally, wars have been fought by young men.
Yeah, but
and
most
the
of them got
reason
their ass
is
beat.
because young men are good at following orders. They've been conditioned to follow orders, so they're really
So
easy
they
and
actually- I think-
malleable.
okay,
They
I
know
have
a lot
young-
more-
They have young
Yeah.
bodies. They can
25-year-old
take a lot of abuse.
I think with that logic, they'd make better partners too if they can follow orders. Okay, I'm sorry. So I guess, like the age of consent here is 18, but like in China, it's like 15 or even younger. Like I had a family friend, she was in her 50s, like dating a 16-year-old, and like they made it work, and it was pretty sick.
That's crazy.
That's like
In what term the word sick?
Oh,
'Cause
like
I think we have two different. I think we're defining sick in two different ways.
Mentally ill.
no,
gonna
I think
throw up.
sick in like the good way.
Yeah, I know that's what you meant. I meant sick, like I'm gonna be nauseous.
Because he was like really pretty, and she really liked him.
That's such a double
That's
standard.
so sad.
No, but I would have no problem with like, I don't know, a 50-year-old dating a 16-year-old if it's in a country where like culturally speaking, it's okay.
I think either culturally, that's.
I'm not gonna like gender, you know what I mean? Like gender disqualify people from being able to date people of certain ages.
That's still a child.
Yeah.
If I had a daughter or even a son and I'm older and they are 18 or 16, how you're saying, whatever, 18, and they bring home someone 40 plus years old, I'm gonna have a problem with it.
Even my
What's
age,
your-
I'd be like,
what's the
"Excuse
objection?"
me?"
Hold on. Go ahead, Andrew.
What's the objection?
To my
Other than how it makes you feel, what's an actual objection that you have to it?
because he has experienced double her lifespan, right? So he's been here 2 times longer than she has experienced so much and has learned things that she hasn't yet. And yeah, I know what you're gonna say. So he can show her all of those wisdom and knowledge that
Nope.
he has.
Don't predict what I'm going to
Okay.
say. You're going to get it wrong, I promise. But just go ahead and tell me what your objection is.
My objection is I don't want my little girl with someone who is 40 plus years old. I want her
what
to
about little
experience
boy?
life with someone who they don't have to be the exact same age, but
Wait,
that,
I just
Yeah,
want
but that's
to
just-
wait.
listen,
Let
that-
me just come in really quick. You said little girl, but you said she's 18 or 19. So don't you mean adult woman? Go ahead.
yeah, but that's
Yeah,
still.
that's just
I know my
preference.
dad. My dad looked at me when I was 18, and I'm his little girl. I'm forever his little girl.
Yeah, but you're using the language to sort of, in this sort of bad faith way, try to frame it in the most
Sorry, I don't want my daughter.
unflattering. But
I don't
it's-
want my
hold on,
daughter.
let me finish. You're framing it in the most unflattering way possible by using very specific language to put a spin on it, because that's what people like. That's what feminists do. Is they'll like try
not
to
a
put a
feminist.
spin on it by using this language to like make it seem as unflattering as possible.
Well, just have a
Go
quick
ahead,
question for
Andrew.
you,
Go ahead,
Kiko.
Andrew.
Kiko, do you believe that an 18-year-old woman should be able to vote and nullify the vote of this 40-year-old man who has twice the life experience that she does, which seems to be what your objection is?
Yeah, because right now the voting age is 18. I also think the
Yeah,
voting age.
but
I
would
think
you
everything
want
should
to
be
change
raised from
that
18.
now, knowing what you know, that they are totally inexperienced and have no business voting against a 40-year-old man who has double her life experience, double her knowledge, and nothing in common with her? Clearly, he's way more sophisticated than she is.
Yes, if I could go back, I would change the voting age to maybe 21, maybe somewhere around there. At 18, I had no idea what I was doing voting. My opinions have vastly changed since then after I've done more research. I had no business voting while I was still in high school during the presidential
So if
election.
you're a 21-year-old and you're with a 45-year-old, is that okay?
Yes. I would say in most
Why-
cases, yes.
So I can't figure out what the distinction here is other than some kind of it's icky style preference. Is it just an it's icky preference?
It's
is
about
that
brain
it? That's
development.
the only objection?
Yeah.
Brain
Can I
development.
ask you something?
Manipulation tactics. Manipulation tactics can work way easier on a naive person who is just experiencing being an adult versus someone who has, I don't know the term you would use, but they have more, I don't know.
So it's power dynamics?
Mostly power dynamics,
Right?
yes.
Well, if it's power dynamics, then why would you support a woman ever getting together with a rich man? Why would you support a woman ever getting together with a rock star? Why would you support a woman ever getting together with any powerful man
she make that-
if she wasn't equally powerful as he
'Cause
was
she can
when he
make
got
those-
together? Because power dynamics.
She can make that decision with a fully developed brain and her
It's
own
not fully
good faith.
developed.
More developed than at 18.
Yeah, but
Vastly.
you don't
At
even know
18,
that.
you're
The
fresh
problem
out
is
of
with
high
the
school. You don't
particular
have
studies
that,
for a
like,
fully
real
developed brain,
experience
you don't even know exactly when the brain is fully developed. Could be 25, could be 18, could be 19, could be 20, could be 21, could be 31.
Well, we
Why are
know.
you so
The
mad?
problem is they took a huge pool of studies and they tried to kind of run this data and give you an average for when the female brain's fully developed, but it's actually quite contentious, this data. So it's not even true.
But
so
we
when
still
you're talking
have the
about
data,
this particular
so
preference
let's stay
and
around
power
those
dynamic,
numbers.
hang on, I'm almost done, then I'll give you the floor. When you're talking about the preference of a power dynamic, then wouldn't you have to logically be consistent and say anytime there's a lopsided power dynamic, they should not be getting together?
I already answered your question, brain development. It's like, I'm not going to change my answer on that one.
That doesn't make any sense, though.
It
Brain
does.
development. They're not any more developed at 20 than they are at 18 or 21 at 19.
I
It's
feel
still
like
not true.
it's
That's
25 where your brain lobe is like, your frontal brain lobe is like fully developed. I feel like that's that's like
That's not
very,
true.
Sir, that's very
that's a
common knowledge. You're getting those facts
misrepresentation of
straight
the
out of your
data.
ass because you're pissed.
That's a complete
I don't know why you're so
misrepresentation
mad
of the
about
data.
it. Can I
Now, I'll
ask
tell
you a
what,
question?
If you believe that it's 25, tell me who was the architect of the studies who you read, who told you that
boo-hoo.
25
That's
years
like
old
what we
was
learn
when
in
the brain was
school
fully
in like
developed?
biology
We learned
class.
it in psych. We learned it in
I'm
psych,
sorry, I
bio,
don't-
UCSB. My
School is
Lisa
propaganda.
Terrain, I think is her name. My professor is who I learned that from. Thank you.
So somebody just told you that.
My professor.
It's
It's
in
part of our
textbooks.
research.
I'm not gonna
It's in our
Oh,
Oh,
like all
great.
exact
Can
things
you
from the
tell me any
textbook.
data on it? Can you tell me what the methodology was, what the process was, how they
You
went
know
about
it.
determining that this was true, or did you just are you just going to say, well, I heard that once, so it's true?
We learned it in school.
We learned it in school.
Yeah,
What?
Sorry
Oh,
for
you
taking
learned
some
it in
good
school.
faith.
That's great. Can you give me any actual data on this at all? Or is it just
Bio
somebody
101.
told that to me?
Actually, what
Bio
I learned,
101.
what I learned in debate, you're a debater, right? What I learned in debate class, since you have an issue with our facts, you're the one who is supposed to bring the evidence negating our fact. So if you want to go
Right
do
now,
that
I'm
research,
established you've
you
given
can.
me a fact.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, if you don't agree with us, you can go ahead and provide that
There's
necessary
no-
research
there's
since
no
you want it so
agreement,
bad. But
right?
we are all in a
Right now, I'm
consensus here.
questioning
So
whether
you're
or not
about
this is a
like
fact.
maybe Priya and Brian might be on your side, but you're.
I kind of.
I am not on-
I'm,
no.
You agree with him?
I mean, when he brought up the power dynamic with like celebrities and stuff like that, like I see how like I
Yeah.
get why he brought that up as a rebuttal, definitely for sure. Like
Yeah, but that's
I
not
feel
his
like
overall
that
point.
doesn't
My
even have
overall
anything
point
to
is
do
like
with the
he's saying that
fact
there's
of
no
an
difference between an
18-year-old
18-year-old.
versus a 21-year-old.
Like you can't say there's no difference between
I
an 18-year-old
think
and
once
a
you're,
21-year-old.
I think we really need to go back to where like words like have definitions and mean something because.
That's why I didn't label anything. I didn't say that these men need to be put in jail.
I didn't mean to say
and
like
need to
you
be,
were, but like even just like
still be
even
weird.
my own thing is like okay, if we're adults at 18, if our boys are literally getting sent to war to
Okay,
fight
when did
for
that
us,
happen?
they should like
How long
be
ago was
able
that?
to have a drink or a smoke, but they're not because
Okay.
it's like so
obviously there
either
is a
they
give
need
and
to
take,
change
right?
it everything to 18 and make sure our men are men and have like it's just weird to me that like
That was a
there's
great point you made though.
Like
Like that 18 they can go to war, all the things that you were saying, but still you
But
can't
then you can't drink
so-
or have a
So
smoke while
obviously
you're
there's
killing
differences
yourself.
between them, right? I don't agree 18 should be the age
Why?
regardless, but obviously there's differences between it because we already have different ages on these.
And why do they
Yeah, but
say
Kiko,
why?
it's not just
Andrew,
a
I'm
matter
talking.
of...
No, you interrupted me. So
Oh,
I was
sorry,
gonna say.
yeah, I'm gonna interrupt you.
I was
too.
gonna, okay,
Kiko,
you're
that's the whole
still
point, though.
talking. You're still talking.
Go.
Anyways,
Yeah,
I
you're
was
still
gonna
talking
say,
too.
Go.
Thank
Here,
you.
you go ahead, then we'll have Andrew
Okay,
go. Go ahead.
like I
with
was
your
gonna
point.
say, because Andrew keeps interrupting me, is that they have a reason why you say you can't smoke or drink until 21. It's because your brain isn't fully developed, and I think they're very aware of that. Your frontal brain lobe isn't developed until the age of 25.
Does Europe have that wrong? Because I think you can drink
Yeah,
much
but
earlier
I mean,
in
like
Europe.
in Mexico, you can drink at like 12 and drive a car at 12. It's very different.
What does the frontal brain lobe control?
Decision making.
It controls decision making.
Yes.
Okay, and how does it do that?
I believe so.
I don't know.
I believe it's our
You don't
judgment.
know. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're talking about a contested
You don't know what you're talking
assortment
about.
of data.
Guys, hold on.
Interesting stuff. I am going back to work. Andrew, nice Bruce Campbell poster. Oh, Gray, I'll talk to you later, beautiful.
I love you, babe.
You had something really quick. Make your point.
Yeah, I believe the prefrontal cortex is the part of the brain where we are able to see the consequence of our actions. And there was a study.
Impulse control.
Yeah, impulse control. So there was a study done on prisoners who had instances in their childhood where they were abused and they had gotten impacted in the front of their head. And they were the ones that were recommitting the same crimes because they couldn't see the consequence of their actions. So the prefrontal cortex.
Oh my God.
Andrew Tate donated $1,000.
Do you guys want to continue on with the conversation?
I would love to say.
I did DM you that picture. I know it's late in the conversation.
All right, who's?
I know that we say, or I know that you guys are saying that there's a huge difference or drastic difference between an 18-year-old and a 21-year-old, but I don't understand how or why. Like, yes, of course we change depending on our life experiences, but what is it exactly that happens in that time frame that makes these people grow up grow up so much? Because in that time frame, not all, but most kids leave their parents' home, go off to college, and a lot of the times don't make the greatest decisions.
Can I say something real quick to that?
Who wants champagne?
Me. Yeah, you could pass it around.
Oh, wait,
I don't know
Is everybody
if it's really
over?
like a big,
Yeah, we're all
difference, but I think the
I'll be
biggest
22
difference is
January
the fact that,
4th.
now I graduated high school at 17. Most people are still in high school at 18, right?
Yo, Nick.
So you're still in that environment around different
Andrew,
aged
can you hear
kids,
me?
around younger kids.
Yeah, I
You're
can
going to
hear
have
you.
that
Okay, never mind.
influence. So you leave high school.
What's up?
Now you have that real life experience. You're going off to college by yourself.
okay.
You're leaving your parents' home. That alone is enough life experience to teach you, how
Who's got empty
to think
cup?
on your
I
feet
don't
and
think
how
that's
to
the
be an
case most of
adult.
the time, though, honestly.
It depends on the
I'll just let
person. It
people-
depends on
Absolutely,
what
but
you've been
for
through.
it.
It's
In that
not
sense,
like
I-
absolute, but I think that's the main part of the argument.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
but oftentimes we get most of our knowledge, especially in that small
on camera?
age difference. We've gotten the large majority of our knowledge and experiences from our parents, so I think it's
Yeah,
really
that's
on the
true.
parents to prepare the child or that individual to make the best decisions for them in their life. So I really
It does
object
really
to the idea that there's so much that happens in between ages 18 and 21 that like they're suddenly able to make this decision.
Divide by 2, add
And
7.
also, we know that it's
That's the
like
rule.
it's possible. I mean, my parents had me at 19, 20. My grandparents had my parents at the summer in between 8th grade and freshman year, and they killed it. Like I wish I had children. You know, I wish I was there. Like people are able to do it. We're just getting a little softer, I think.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me because maybe Andrew has an opinion on this as well, but I
Andrew
find
Tate.
that that Andrew that's here with us.
I think Andrew Tate wants 13-year-olds.
That's not.
don't say that.
Yeah, that's completely inappropriate. No, I find it very interesting now that kids want to grow up so much in such a provocative way, but I feel like they're becoming less mature and adult than like she was mentioning our parents and our grandparents were at the same age.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of sad, to be honest.
Yeah, because the ages that people are marrying and having kids is obviously getting later and later in life, and honestly, I think people are being a lot less successful at it now than they were in the past.
Yeah,
but that still has nothing to do with the age gap about when you're getting married in age. You can still be around the same similar age of when you're getting married.
No,
That's like a
sure, but
completely different
I think it has to do a lot with the level of maturity that you have when you're able to get married and have kids and start a family and be successful at it. I would say that that's a lot more difficult of a decision than deciding on a partner that might be quite a bit older than you, and it still being appropriate.
Yeah.
Eco, do you think that 18-year-old women should be able to get an abortion?
I think a woman at any age should be able to.
Yeah.
At any
Yeah,
age.
you think that they have the agency to do that? They can make the choice to do that, but they
So
can't
I also
choice
think
to
Completely
I also
date
think
somebody who's older than they are. They have
different.
literal ability over life and death, but they can't
Long-winded.
make the choice to date an older guy.
So I also think that the 13-year-old has the right to make a decision if she wants to have an abortion or not. I don't think a 13-year-old has the right to decide if she wants to date a 50-year-old. See how those are two different conflicting things that have nothing to do with each other?
Yeah,
They're
but,
very
but
opposing.
So wait a second. What the agency issue here? You would say a 13-year-old would still have to have her parents around, help guide her to any of the major decisions that they're going to make, including that decision. There's no way you can take that off the table. At 18 years old, that's not a necessity anymore. That's an adult. Why is it that you think that this person has the capacity to make such a decision, but doesn't have the capacity to make a decision as to who they want to date?
Okay, this is like
it's very different raising a child at a young age than it is dating somebody. Very different.
And
If
why
anything,
do
one
you
is-
keep...
And I know that they're different. I'm looking
Hey.
for consistency.
Andrew, why do you keep defending men that want to date teenagers?
Yeah, like why
That's
is this like
not
Problem with an 18-year-old
I just think it's
dating.
So
I
you
don't see a
said-
problem with 18-year-olds dating. Why do you see a problem with that? Is it because of your own immaturities? Is that why?
No, it's just because the last job I've had before I got into bartending, I was a manager and a site lead of these 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 19-year-olds. They are kids. They're still kids, especially this day and age.
There are 21-year-olds.
Okay. So same in this day and age of how because honestly, there's a lot of problems within the schools. You would agree probably, and how we've been raising our kids. We are raising them to be extra soft and coddled. So especially these 18-year-olds and this generation that's going through our schooling system we have now, that's getting so handheld through life. I'm not saying there's not one-off instances where an 18-year-old and an older man cannot work, but I'm saying I think that is more far and few in between than the age gap of 21 and plus. That literally is all I'm saying. Is
Yeah, but you're not basing that on anything. It's just arbitrary.
I'm basing it on
It's just some,
people
it's just
I've
some
seen.
like preference you have where you just think it's icky. That's it.
No, it's basing it off of looking at how things have turned out for other women who were 18 who decided to get in these older relationships with men, start a family at 18 before they got their own education or a good job. Then what happens
Well,
when that
how's
man
it
turns
turning
out to
out
not
for
be
him?
not good? Because a lot of them, those men.
Prove it. Prove it's not turning out good for
I'm not
him.
going to air out not all my friends, but some people I know. I'm not going to air out their dirty business right now. But you can go on, even going online, you can see your own testimonies of people. If you have, I'm not saying it's always going to happen, but it happens
That's
too
just
much.
Kiko,
It
that's
happens
just
too.
anecdotes, though. You're just giving me
Anecdotes,
anecdotes.
everything is just anecdotes.
Oh, okay. Well, Kiko, all the people I know have these huge age gaps in their relationships. Those all work out great.
Then that's your experience. My experience is
Right.
different.
So I get it. So it's equally as valid as yours.
Generation.
Like
Is it going to change? Is it going to change your mind because I said that? Because I told you that? Wait, my anecdotal
that's the difference
experience
here,
is
is yours-
different than yours.
This is the difference here. You're stuck in trying to change my mind. I'm not trying to change your mind. You're just asking me questions and I'm answering how I feel. You can think
Well,
how
I
you
do
feel.
want to. I
You're
do
married
want to
with
change
kids.
your mind, of course.
I don't care to change your mind. You're married with kids, so I'm hoping that you won't be you won't be going around 18-year-olds anyway. So I'm not really concerned how you feel about it. But you're the one who
What does
decided.
that have to do with anything?
Because I don't feel the need to lecture you on it because you're already married with kids. I'm more concerned with if there's other men who still want to seek out 18-year-olds that are that plus, then I'll talk to them.
So if the argument is I want to get up in other people's business, then it's equally valid for me to say, okay, me too. And I'm taking the opposite position of you, and I think that there's absolutely no problem with an 18-year-old male dating a vastly older woman or an 18-year-old female dating a vastly older man. It seems like there's reasons for those preferences that make sense.
Here, I want to bring in some of the
What
other
is the
people.
reason for those preferences, though? Why would you prefer an 18-year-old?
Kiko, stop. I'm going to bring in some other people on the panel here.
Because of fertility.
Fertility. And you're okay, so I guess I have personal experience. Has anybody dated like an old person when they were a teenager here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was seeing someone who was 36 when I was 16.
Whoa.
And
That's
it was pretty sick until he went to jail.
Oh.
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah, he went to jail.
For being with you?
I didn't hear.
Identity theft.
Oh. This girl's a troll.
You're one of the most interesting people.
I know.
No, it's actually real. I have text messages to prove it.
All right. I mean,
Like that's.
he went to jail.
That's exactly what I see.
No, he went to jail.
We're talking about age gaps. He went to
identity
jail for something totally unrelated.
Yes, but my point was it was pretty sick.
It was sick
you mean
to
and
sick?
went to jail?
Like, do you mean sick as in cool or sick as in?
The first
When I was
girl
14
you're
and dating a 28-year-old, it seemed pretty cool at the time too. Until I got older and realized how freaking sick it was. That's why when I see those, when I was 14, I had a lot of older men on my tail. So when I see those 14 and 28, right? When I see 18 and 40, that's what I see. Is like, okay, they learned their lesson now, and now they're at least going for girls of age. That's how I read it as. So
did I hear you right when you said that you dated an older man at that age?
yeah, I was 14 dating a 28-year-old. Yes, Andrew, that's what I said.
Well, why?
Because I was an idiot. I was 14, had no idea what I was doing. He was coming on to me, was talking to me a lot, asked me out. I was like, oh, this is so cool. Older guy is interested in me. You know, he has a job, he has a car.
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $200. Let's be honest, at this point a better argument can be made that many women never emotionally or mentally mature. The panel ebbing case in point. Society is doomed. Send the nukes.
Yeah, send the nukes.
Damn.
So back.
That's hot.
Oppenheimer?
Oh my.
So kind of back to this as we dive into it. Why is it though? You don't think that maybe informs your preference that you had a really bad experience when you were young? So therefore, when women are considered adults, you have decided that you still need to kind of move that goalpost forward because you're trying to protect them from the same types of bad experiences that you had?
That's the thing, though. I never said it was a bad experience. It was great. He bought me a lot of stuff. He bought me food. He took me to my practices. It was a wonderful time.
It could have been bad.
But it could have gotten really bad if I didn't leave when I did. And obviously, he was a 28-year-old with a 14-year-old, which he had no business doing. So even though it was a great relationship, with my mind now being more developed, I realized how sick and twisted it was. Never said it was a bad relationship, though.
Were you the one
I
that
never said that.
stepped away from the relationship, or did he?
I did. Finally, when I was talking to more, I told more and more of my friends, and at first my friends thought it was cool, like my age friends. But then I got talking to more of my older friends who were in high school, because I was still in 8th grade at this
you're
time.
just a child.
And they were like,
that's not
"What
okay.
are you
You were a
doing?
child."
What are you doing?"
Yeah,
Can I add something?
The difference is that's highly illegal. So
I know,
he is a
but
slime ball.
but only reason why I brought that up though is because it reminds me of like I do know him still. I don't know him at all, like know him personally, but he's the guy now who's I don't know how old he is. He's like in his late 30s, early 40s, who's dating 18-year-olds.
Go ahead.
It's a trend. It ends up being
Stop.
a trend.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that when I was 16, I didn't date anybody really old, but I was talking to this guy who was 19 at the time, and even then he was very aware that it was still
Nick,
a
you can
little
show us on the
inappropriate for
split.
him to
No,
be
no, no.
talking to me
On the
because
split, just
of
hide
you know, the fact that I was 16 and he was 19 and about to be 20. So I feel like if a 19-year-old boy can even make that decision and be like, okay, that's wrong, I don't want to date the 16-year-old, even though we are both teenagers technically, and you know, it's 16, 19, that's like, what, 3 years? That's not that bad. But even he had like the knowledge and was like, okay, I don't want to hang out with you.
Yeah, because it's a crime.
He didn't want to get locked up.
Yeah, I know.
It was
I'm
a
saying
crime.
that.
It had nothing to do with what you and him wanted. It was a crime. That's why he didn't want to do it, right?
Yeah, obviously, but I'm saying that
Yeah. So I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Can I finish?
I'm trying to figure out why it's
Well, you're
actually
cutting
of
me
some kind
off.
of moral imperative at 18. When they're 18, they're considered adults by society. Why it's somehow bad, other than like kind of this arbitrary ick factor that you had. I don't see any other argument than that.
But like, why can't we smoke and drink at 18?
Because
Or smoke and drink. Smoke and drink at 18.
Wait, Kiko, move your mic.
There's a little bit of a difference, though, consuming substances that can alter your brain chemistry
versus having sex with somebody that can alter your brain for life.
Well,
Because
I
we
mean,
all-
nobody's advocating for having sex at that age.
Look,
but-
the reason that you saw the drinking age and stuff like that go up
Hold on
is
just a
because
sec. Hold on.
Brian, call animal control. There's a raccoon at the table. What the fuck is going on? Also, how you gonna struggle opening that wine bottle? My hands are bleeding.
This I didn't even get it.
Bro, I swear I loosened that shit for Kiko. Like it was about to pop, but then like, you know, it is what you can. Right, I'm still kind of, I don't know.
You still,
Was that your first
one more to
one?
prove yourself, Brian?
Yeah, we have two more. If anybody wants to like, you know, I can redeem myself if anybody wants to, you know, so we got two more champagne bottles that we can pop. So imagine if I go for 0 for 3 on all the champagne bottles. I actually have to end the podcast. Like I can't do this podcast anymore if I can't open one of those
I think
champagne
you'd be
bottles.
too injured at that point.
Yeah, probably. I'm just, I'm going to be, Nick, she sent us go to our Instagram. She sent us a photo or something.
Yeah, it's a screenshot.
Okay. So we'll pull that up. Here, let me do a chat. Let me get this chat in. We have Dark Shadow. Brian and Andrew, thanks for awesome shows. These ladies have no value. If they say cuddling is what they bring to the relationship, a pillow does the same thing. The woman next to Brian is beautiful. Okay. Assume you're talking about Priya.
Yeah, she
is beautiful.
All right. Thank you, Dark Shadow. Thank you, LPE. Appreciate it. Let me see here. Oh, that's still loading. Here. One sec.
So funny.
Do you have it, Nick?
That you said it's not about sex, but he already said too. Fertility was the number one thing that he would go after an 18-year-old for.
Well,
Yeah,
we're talking about
so
marriage,
Nick.
That's different.
Nick.
No, that's not what I said.
I said what was better about an 18-year-old? You said fertility. So that means
Yeah,
having
but that
babies.
doesn't. But what you did was you inserted. He said he would do X, didn't you? So you lied. Is what you did.
Okay,
you were trying to insert that I would do an action
Why are
based
you
on an
so
argument that I made
mad?
for why
He's
I
not
think
mad.
that men would go for women who had more fertility and why that would biologically make sense that they do so. That has nothing to do with what I would or wouldn't do.
Okay, redacted. A reason he gave for why men would want to go for an 18-year-old is fertility. So if it's for fertility, then you're saying that, oh, it's different because drugs and drinking and all that can make your mind different. But I'm like, so can having a child. So
Yeah, I agree.
why?
So the thing is a reason
I'm
that
not talking to you. I'm talking to Priya.
Hold
yeah,
on.
but I need to clarify because I was cut off by the
Andrew,
super
stop
chat. I was answering that
interrupting.
question already. I was
Okay.
already answering that question for you.
Wait.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving and organizations like this are the ones that push those laws to raise the drinking age and smoking age from 18. It was tied with you being an adult, always, until a bunch of busybody, dumb broads like yourselves got together and decided that they wanted to push the age of consent law forward.
Why?
It makes no sense. It's not consistent anymore.
Because too
that
many
you're an adult and
18-year-olds
drink
were
or
drinking
smoke.
and driving, right? Too many 18-year-olds were drinking and driving because
Okay.
they couldn't handle the
Can I say
responsibility
something?
of
Nope.
drinking.
Hold on.
I have taken the whole pan down.
No.
I have
Stop.
my hand raised.
But
for
dumb
that.
broads.
Stop. So I think, did you have your hand raised and then you had your hand raised? You go, then you go.
Okay, I was gonna say for fertility, actually, statistically speaking, 13 to 15-year-olds are very fertile.
Oh my God.
Like, why do you keep? Can we go on there?
Okay, that's gross.
Is it her that's doing that?
Doing what?
Going back to what?
She just keeps trolling. She's just
No,
trolling.
I'm saying
the
that
whole
it's
time.
true. So like we should take into consideration
they-
when we talk about age of consent.
I don't want 13-year-olds to have
No one's
babies.
advocating for that.
Yeah, we don't.
No, I'm not advocating for 13-year-old. I'm just saying, like, if we're really talking about fertility, that's something to.
And basically, our fertility, we are most fertile when we were. No, that's a good point, though. We are fertile when we were most born. By the time we are 13 and hit our puberty, women, once we go through our first menstrual cycle, we lose
Yep,
majority
cool.
of our fertility
Your turn.
anyway. So it's
Your
not
turn. Her turn.
Oh man, we get that, reel that back in.
Go ahead.
So for the hypothetical situation where you wanted to protect your daughter from an older guy, would you even bother getting to know this? Like, if we're gonna, it's all hypothetical. And then if you made the same mistakes that you're trying to prevent, how would they learn how to make their own choices?
You don't have to. I see your point.
No, like the way that it is I'm not gonna make an anecdote thing, but what if you got to know the guy? What if he was a good guy? What if, I don't know, just what if?
Yeah,
But-
it's a bunch of what ifs, and I think it is all depending on the situation, how it's brought up to me and the family and stuff. But I'm just saying my initial reaction would obviously be a full stop, hell no. Now, would I say like I wouldn't want to hear them out or whatever? No, obviously I don't want to hear them out. That's my child. I don't want to do the opposite and shut them down to where they just run off with this older man. I would never want to do that. But you guys are getting twisted. I've never had a bad experience with older man. I've dated an older man when I was younger, like I said, and it was actually great for me. So it's not that I'm trying to protect them. I don't want them to do this and third. It's just I want her to be aware that she is walking into a possible power dynamic issue. It would be the same thing if my 30-year-old daughter was going to marry some rich doctor or lawyer or whatever. I'll be like, make sure that you have your things in check, so just in case something goes bad, you're not going to get left in a stranded little studio apartment or something. It's the same. It's the same thing.
That's fair.
It's like to be a mother to and a boy or girl, it doesn't matter who is in that situation. Obviously, if they're 18, 19, they're going to do whatever they want. But it's also like your job as a parent to advocate for the best of them and have their best interest at heart,
So it's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God, here you go again.
Well,
Here. No. Stop. I'm changing the topic. Let me read this chat and then